Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ubiquiti Networks founder and CEO, Robert Pera.
Oh, there's a lot of people here. Okay, thanks everyone for coming out. I'll get right to it. I thought I would. Okay, here we go. All right, so in the past, we've done these World Network conferences, and we just announced everything we've worked on, and we're a diversified company now. Today, we're going to do things a little different. So I know this is a WISP industry event, so we're going to specifically focus on what we have been working on for the WISP industry. So I'm going to break this conference down, or this show down in two parts. First, I'm going to tell you how we see the business future of the WISP industry. And then second, I'm going to tell you how we see the technology vision for the WISP industry. So let's start with the business side first. So everybody in this room knows what a WISP is, right? It's a wireless internet service provider. But in my experience, trying to explain this to somebody outside our industry, I get a reaction that looks something like this, right? And there's a lot of reasons why. One of the biggest reasons why is because when you start with the word wireless, people automatically assume you're talking about mobile networks and smartphones, right? But the WISP industry, what we do is we bring fixed connectivity anywhere. And ideally, the vision is ubiquitously, right? And when I'm trying to explain this to people, I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be great if there's some analogy for what we do, or some company or market or industry similar to what we do that we could use to explain the WISP industry. And interestingly, one of the companies or networks that come to mind is DirecTV, right? So DirecTV, they supply TV connectivity, but it's still connectivity, and it's near ubiquitous coverage, and they have installers that place a radio device on the top of your roof, whether it's a home or an office. And in many ways, it's not so much different than how WISP networks operate, where they have installers, they have coverage areas, they send out installers to deploy these radios to these roofs and bring connectivity to people. So let's look at DirecTV. And DirecTV has 20 million subscribers. It's a very large network. And they've built this network over the past 20 years. And there's other companies similar to DirecTV. There's Dish Networks, their competitor. Over 18 years, they've grown to 14 million subscribers. And maybe further a stretch is the Sirius XM business, satellite radio, and over 13 years, they've built their business to 25 million subscribers. So these are big numbers, right? And how do these companies build these networks and these subscriber bases? And intuitively, you could just look at it as it comes down to two variables, right? It's awareness. How many people know these networks and solutions exist? And out of those people that know about the solution, how many find it valuable enough to buy the solution and become a subscriber? Right? So these networks are based on, or the size of them are correlated to the awareness and how compelling their solution is. So let's look at awareness. How does WISP awareness compare to these networks and these industries? Now, in this room, if I asked everybody what a WISP is, 100%. I'd get 100% positive response that understands the concept and could tell me what it is. How about if we go outside this hotel? What if we went to the Las Vegas Strip and you asked, 1,000 people, what's a WISP? What does a WISP do? Do you know anything about the wireless ISP industry? How many people would tell you they knew what it was? Maybe 1 out of 1,000? 1 out of 100,000? I don't know what it is, but it's a big discrepancy. We have basically zero awareness compared to these other industries, right? So if that is the case, then the WISP industry, the numbers, our subscriber base should be much smaller than these other industries, right? DirecTV, 20 million, Dish, 14 million, Sirius XM, satellite radio, 25 million. So Air Max to date, how many devices do you think we've shipped? And we're not the entire WISP industry, we're the leaders, but just us alone, how many devices do you think we shipped to date? With Air Max, it's in 4 years, not even 4 years, it's 16 million. So it's growing at a rate very fast. In the next calendar year, it will surpass the numbers of these other networks. And so how is that possible? If we only have a very small fraction of the awareness of these other industries, how do we have numbers comparable to them? And the answer is, the solution is very compelling. The economics and the value of the solution is so compelling that we have an unbelievable conversion rate of those that are aware of the solution and those that buy the solution. So to me, it's a very simple equation. The limiting factor to the growth in the WISP industry right now, and it's growing very fast, but the limiting factor to it really exploding comes down to awareness. If we could create a program where every small, medium business in this country and everywhere you go outside knew what the WISP industry is and the solution we offered, I think the growth would be incredible. And I think it would be a heavyweight industry. And I think your guys' networks, the growth would be so explosive, the valuations would go crazy, and you guys would all be millionaires, and millionaires would be multimillionaires and so on, right? So how do we do it? That's what we're going to talk about right now. So I'll let JT. So JT is in charge of the marketing effort. His team has done an unbelievable job, and I'll let him take it from here.
Can we play the video, please?
So a WISP is a wireless internet service provider. Typically, these WISP, they're entrepreneurs. I call them guerrilla operators.
The reason why most people have never heard of a wireless ISP is because these businesses tend to be smaller. They're not these juggernauts like the phone company or the cable company. They're really good at building out awesome networks. They're really good at delivering great customer service and really good at delivering quality products.
And they're just looking to do something bigger with their lives, just kind of like I was trying to do with Ubiquiti. So we want to bring some unity to this whole network of entrepreneurs and supercharge their businesses if we have this idea of a world network.
The Ubiquiti World Network is an alliance of individual wireless ISPs that are going to band together and share a unified technology platform, sales, marketing, and advertising assets, as well as combined political clout.
What we're trying to do with the World Network is preserve the spirit of the guerrilla operators, the WISP, that make them great, and just put some tailwind behind them.
All right. First off, thank you all for coming here and sharing part of your evening with us. I also want to get a shout out to the 3,000 plus people who are watching on YouTube Live. We really hope what we're about to show you is going to be worth the time. So before I talk about the Ubiquiti World Network, I kind of want to talk about our competition. As you know, we go up against the phone and the cable companies every single day. Yeah, we know how we feel. I know how you feel about them. the thing is, DSL just isn't cut out for today's internet. I mean, web pages are heavier than they've ever been. They're so visual now. Online gaming is at an all-time high, and we're streaming YouTube and Netflix to multiple devices in our households. And then when you talk about the cable companies, you're talking about an industry low. Actually, it's sub 30% customer satisfaction rating. It's ridiculous. I don't know how to get away with it. I think that's lower than any industry in the United States. And they get away with it because they know that their customers aren't aware of another option for high-speed internet. We know better, though, right? Right. Damn right, yeah. I'm speaking to 4,000 wireless ISPs that can provide that high-service internet. See, to me, it's not an issue of service. It's not an issue of quality, because I can argue that our stuff is just as good, if not better. As Robert just pointed out, this is an issue of awareness. You see, when families move into new homes, when businesses move into their new offices, they're not aware of another option for internet. When those businesses put together their plans for internet, we are not at the table. We're a last resort. And only when the phone and cable companies fail, and when those businesses have to find another option, are we called. And those businesses find a WISP. And those WISPs, under even worse circumstances than when that project began, same crappy budget, even less time, we get the job done. And that's our power. That's what makes us special. And the nation should know about it. So at Ubiquiti, we've been thinking about this for the last year, and we've come up with some really great ideas. And so we've put them together into the Ubiquiti World Network. The Ubiquiti World Network is an alliance of us, working together towards a single vision, and we're going to share a unified technology platform, sales and marketing assets, an advertising program, and we're going to use our political clout together. Now, we took these ideas and we wanted to make sure they worked, so we tested them. And I gotta tell you, the results are amazing. But rather hear it from me, I want you to hear it from one of your own. I want to invite Nathan Stuke of Whisper Wise to come share the results with you.
Thank you, JT. As you said, my name is Nathan Stuke from Whisper, and it's great to see everyone out here. You know, the vibe at this show, the energy in the WISP industry is amazing. I can't think of a better time to be a WISP. And I was truly honored when Ubiquiti asked us to be part of their test pilot program. You know, we tried lots of different things. Some performed better than others, but honestly, the results were truly, truly amazing. But before I go into the results, I want to kind of talk a little bit about marketing in general. Because Whisper, we just turned 10 last month, and we've never really done marketing before in the history of our company. And we say, well, we didn't need to do marketing because we couldn't keep up with demand. So why market when you can't keep up with demand, right? Well, now, it's a good problem, believe me. I'm not complaining that I couldn't keep up with demand at all. And I know a lot of you are in the same boat where you just can't keep up with demand. You're deploying as fast as you can. However, if I look back and say, wow, what if I had started marketing 10 or 5 years ago? What would my network look like? You know, right now I have a network that covers about half a state, 188 towers. Imagine if I had started marketing 5 years ago. Maybe I would only cover a quarter of a state. Maybe I'd only have 100 towers, but I'd probably have the same number of customers because my customers would be dense. They'd be more populated in areas where I was providing service. Because when you're not marketing, you're stuck with just whatever comes your way. You know, you have a couple customers over here, and then you have one customer over here, and you have another customer over there. So we looked at it and said, well, we can't keep up with demand. We're just going to do what we can. Except Ubiquiti came into our industry, right? And what used to cost me $300 a radio to provide service to somebody now costs me $100 per radio. And almost overnight, I could start providing service to 300 customers a month. Before, I could only afford to do 100 installs a month. Now, all of a sudden, I can do 300. And I know a lot of you are in that same boat. I've talked to you at this show, and we're all trying to figure out, wait a minute, all of a sudden, I can keep up with demand. And this is great, but now how do I create that demand? What do I do? And we know the answer is marketing, but we're not very good at it. We tried to do some marketing, we tried to do things here and there, and what we used to say is, well, we just don't need to do marketing. But when I look back and think about it, really, that was just what we were saying. It was that we couldn't do marketing very well. We didn't have the resources. We didn't have the know-how. We didn't have the ad copy. We didn't have all those things. And when a marketing program would fail for us, we would just say, well, we don't need to do marketing. And in fact, we became an anti-marketing company, right? We said, oh, we don't need to do marketing. We're just going to put our money into building our networks and if I provide great service to you, you're going to tell your neighbor. And that's that word of mouth that I know you all grow by. But now, all of a sudden, I have to create demand. I have to figure out how to market. And we were just getting ready to start doing more marketing and learning more when Ubiquiti approached us and said, please, could you be part of our test program? And believe me, looking back at how bad we did marketing before, I knew we needed all the help we could get. So I said, absolutely, absolutely. We will take any help we can possibly get. But now, we had been part of some other programs where manufacturers and service providers, they had this marketing plan that they put together. And 10 minutes into their presentation, it was obvious that they weren't marketing you. They were marketing their company. And all I got to do is stick a tiny little sticker on the back, usually without our logo, that said, contact me if I want service. Right? Those are there, and it was just clear that it was just marketing them. But as I worked with Ubiquiti, it became very apparent early on that they truly, truly wanted to market my company, wanted to market Whisper, wanted to market the WISP. And not only were they helping us, they were going to elevate the entire industry and help the entire industry. And it's just so amazing that it's a complete flip. I've never heard of any other manufacturer in any other industry doing that. And it's just absolutely amazing. We're excited to be part of it. So now I kind of want to go into what we did. I said we tried a lot of different things. So we did several different things. We did some web ads. We did some yard signs. We did some door hangers. And all of these things worked. But they didn't have a great return in some areas, or we only had one billboard sign up and we cover a huge area. So what I'm going to talk about tonight is what really, really worked for us. And that was our direct mail piece. So you can see here, to kind of frame the test area that we did, we're around St. Louis. We cover most of southern Illinois, very rural. And we did this direct mail piece. So this is the piece that we sent out. This is our network with all of our towers. So the next map you see, these are all the leads we got. And now we sent out 60,000 of these direct mailers. Now, maybe we didn't need to send out 60,000 of them, but we wanted to raise awareness in our area, and we wanted to see what the return was. And honestly, if you ask my employees, they'll tell you, we did a lot of work. It was a lot of work. I mean, 60,000, we didn't even think about how big they were going to be, and then they brought them to our warehouse, and we barely had any room to work on them. There were so many boxes. But we sent them out, and when we did that, our phones blew up. You can see that blue graph up there. That's our phone. That's how many leads we're calling in and wanting service. That's our daily graph of all of our leads. Now, we only did this for 1 month, so we only sent out really one direct mail, and we got all these leads coming in. And what's really, really cool, I know a lot of you out there aren't doing any marketing at all, because just 2 years ago, we weren't doing it either. And if you look at the yellow, that's what we were getting for leads when we weren't doing any marketing. So on the next slide, you can kind of see if we compare everything that we have. I mean, that blue line is our marketing for 2013, and you can see that huge kick up. Now again, maybe we shouldn't have done 60,000, because let me tell you, it was hard to answer that many phone calls, but it was great. And it also makes the graph look pretty cool, because it just shot right up. But you can see, I mean, it's almost 800% increase in our leads. And I know when I talk to you guys at this show, you're telling me, how do I get my leads up? How do I get my leads up? This was just one marketing. It wasn't even, the marketing experts, which I am not, say you have to have 7 touches. You have to touch the customer 7 times. This was one time, and we got these results. So now you say, well, wait a minute. 760 leads, what's the big deal? How many did you install? So now this next graph shows what we installed. So you can see that during that 1 month period, we did 156 installs. And you remember I talked about 300 installs is what I'm trying to get to, right? I can afford to do 300. This was a huge step towards getting to that 300. And you can see if you compare to 2011 when we weren't doing any marketing, 57. And that's a 270% increase. That's huge. And the other thing that's really, really cool is my guys now know what it's like to be really, really busy. They're like, oh, we got so many installs, what do we do? I said, it's a good problem. We'll hire more people if we have to. We'll install more things if we need to. So it was a huge success for us. This one tiny little thing in marketing that we did really, really turned out well. Now you might say, well, wait a minute though. You had 760 leads. You only got to 156 of them during that month. But now we've actually done quite a bit more because we were just tracking it for this 1 month. So as you can see on this next slide, we have about 500 people in our database wanting service. And as a business owner, we have lots of opportunities, right? I can get on this tower and it looks like it's going to have a lot of potential, but then it doesn't. And then I go deploy on this tower and it's great. And I'm like, wow, let me go deploy on this one. It's not so good. I have 550 leads in my database saying we want your service. Well, now from a strategic standpoint, I can sit back with my management team and say, well, great, we're going to go grow in this area because holy cow, we have more customers in that area than we ever thought. And I have more customers over here. So it was a tremendous, tremendous success. Marketing didn't fail. I just didn't have my network built out. So now we're trying to build out as fast as we can. And I just can't imagine what it'd be like when we actually do the marketing where we do 7 touches and we have yard signs that go along with it and we do more direct mail pieces. I think it's going to be amazing. And this is exactly what I needed in order to grow, to get to that 300 customers a month, to get to 400 customers a month. I think there's no stopping us. We're in an awesome industry. The energy is high, new technology coming out all the time. And I'm so glad I'm a WISP. I'm so glad that I'm part of this Ubiquiti World Network. And the more of us that join together and the more of us that do that, the better it's going to be. I just can't wait to see what it's going to look like in a year or two. We'll look back and see that this was a huge pivotal point in our industry and where we can go and where we're going to skyrocket. So please, ask any questions you have afterwards. I'd love to be here, and it's going to be a great thing. This is very, very exciting. Thank you very much.
All right, you saw those numbers. They were great. So the effective close rate of this project was 540%. That's $540 Nathan got back for every $100 he invested. As he mentioned, we got a lot of leads from areas that he didn't necessarily have service coverage in. But if he did, and he closed at his normal rate around 70%, you see that number up there, right? That's awesome. I want to remind you, no targeting. There was no optimizations. We didn't have multiple rounds of ads going out. There was no larger nationwide campaign. There was no air cover. This was just a piece of paper that Nathan sent to all the residences that were within his network coverage area. It's awesome. Now imagine these numbers with the full vision of the Ubiquiti World Network behind it. I'm very, very pleased to announce the beta for the Ubiquiti World Network. The first piece is a sales and marketing library. This is the collective experience, the collective stories of all of us. And we're going to place it all in a library. And what this is we're going to lend each other's experiences. And so another WISP from another area can go and pull case studies, pull sales collateral, whatever they need to get into that meeting and close that deal that was previously out of reach for them. The next initiative is one where we're going to leverage our legal resources within Ubiquiti. We're going to see what's important to all of you, and we're going to help address the issues of today so that we can secure our future. And finally, the crown jewel of our program, our advertising program. I know this is a little bit of a teaser, something special coming up, but our advertising program, we are investing millions of dollars into this program. We're investing millions of dollars so that the nation will know of our existence and our excellence. We have a website to hold all these initiatives, and this website will also double as a sales engine for all the incoming leads and all the incoming customers that will be coming to our site. So the way it works is the customer will come on, they'll type in their address, and then they'll get a WISP detail page. If there's only one WISP in the area, they'll be handed off to that WISP. If there are multiple WISPs, then the customer gets to choose. We'll also be launching with a lead management platform to help you get control of all the leads that will be coming in. So I bet you're wondering, how are we going to drive all this traffic to the site? Well, we did tease the advertising a little bit earlier, and I want to invite our ad agency, DGWB, to come up and share the advertising program with you. So before I actually call Mike up on the stage, one moment, I want to brag about you guys a little bit. This ad agency is awesome. I mean, they are an award-winning machine. Last year, they won 32 Addies. That's just a ridiculous number. And here's the kicker. That's actually a slow year for them. Their president, one of their original founders, Mike Wiseman, is here to share that advertising vision with you today. Mike?
It's great to be here. So JT has just painted an incredibly exciting picture of the future. 850 plus, maybe in this room, thousands of others watching on the web, united with Ubiquiti to impact that future in a way that I don't think anybody would have possibly imagined until tonight. You see, the promises of a bright future from the cable and the phone monoliths has simply come up empty. And it's forced thousands and thousands of customers around the country to simply have to settle for the status quo with no choice. Well, we all know how we feel about no choice. And we also know that the status quo is simply not good enough. People don't want to be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for the future to arrive. But tonight, with your help, that wait can be over. Because tonight, the revolution has begun. You know, every revolution is born with a single, very clear vision in mind. And Ubiquiti has a very clear vision. It's about empowering people. It's about empowering people by connecting people. That's what the Ubiquiti World Network is all about. It's about empowering each one of you. It's about empowering your customers. It's about growing your business and crushing the status quo and bringing the most incredible internet experience ever to rooftops all across the country. And every wonderful, great revolution at its heart is launched with a rallying cry. Our rallying cry is about the picture of the future that we hold, what it looks like from our point of view. And we have a campaign that is designed to reach every television, every computer screen, every mobile phone, every neighborhood in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, the future starts now.
We don't see things the way they are, we see them as they should be. We're engineers, it's what we do. With us, it's always faster this, smaller that, better everything. And the way we see it, the internet's in a rut, literally. The big cable companies are digging ditches to bring you high-speed internet. Slowly digging ditch after ditch. And you're left to wait. And wait. Well, we're not waiting. We're putting high-speed internet where it belongs, up on a pedestal. We're banding together, taking to the skies, and shooting it across the country. And not just for some, for everyone in every corner. Why? Because being connected means everything. It's the great equalizer. Today's internet is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's running businesses, schools, lives, and more, way more. And it definitely doesn't have to involve waiting, or burying cables, or buying bundles. It takes new thinking, hard work, and a dedication to lifting technology to new heights. The future's not faster cables, it's no cables. So we're climbing stairs, ladders, towers, and anything else that will allow us to connect you and everyone you know to affordable, reliable, non-bundled high-speed internet. You can't wait for a hole to be dug. And thanks to the world's largest connected network, you won't have to. The future can't wait. Join the Ubiquiti World Network.
The future can't wait. This campaign is designed to reach into every home possible. The Future Can't Wait campaign is going to air on virtually every major cable television network in the country, even A&E. How many Duck Dynasty fans are there? Makes me happy, happy, happy. We're going to go beyond cable. We're also going to reach every major network. We're picking 10 of the top markets in the country, and we're going to go into the neighborhood by airing on local news and traffic programming to make sure that your customers, as they're getting ready for work in the morning or wherever they're headed, school, work, are going to be confronted with our message about the future. But we're also going to take this message and extend it into the internet. I mean, take a look at the titles on this slide. We're not missing too many marks here. But this is just the beginning. As JT mentioned earlier, each one of you is going to be armed with access to a marketing assault kit, if you will, of pre-produced materials that allow you to fight that battle in your own neighborhoods and in your own markets. Pre-produced on Ubiquiti's dime, not yours. So where do you fit into the Ubiquiti World Network campaign? Well, the answer is simple. You're everywhere in the campaign because this whole campaign was designed for you and around you. So every place that you see in the marketing materials I'm going to share with this circle, with the word you, consider that the place where you can customize all of the messages that you're going to see with your logo, with your contact information, and also with customized messages. Here's a pretty good example of what the end of a 30-second spot might look like in terms of a 5-second tag. Localized, custom offer, your logo, your contact information. But air cover alone, as we know, as JT's mentioned, isn't enough. We know that to keep the cable companies and the phone companies on the defensive, we're going to have to take this battle to the ground. And we're going to have to fight this battle on the streets, literally. And so to enable you to do that, we're going to be providing you more. We're going to be providing you with billboards. We're going to allow you to have access to materials for local newspapers, magazines, print. We're also going to take this message to the neighborhoods by producing posters that can be put up in the local coffee house or the laundromat or wherever your customers gather as neighbors. We also want to make sure that you can mail into every mailbox for a prospect in your area with direct mail pieces, much like the one that Nathan has already mentioned that was so highly successful in his own test. And we can even help you with targeting those mailboxes to make sure you're getting the most efficient buy possible. And then we're going to allow your customers to advertise for you, right? They're going to put their stake literally in the ground of their front yards and proclaim to the world that they didn't have to wait for cable. And then right to their front door. So what you have before you is a pretty aggressive multimedia integrated campaign that's all there for access for you. So let's talk about timing a little bit. JT talked about what was going to be produced for you. On December 1st, you're going to be able to log in, view your assets, fully customized for your neighborhood, ready to go. 1 month later, first week in January, we're going to be launching the entire campaign. Why are we picking January? Well, there's a couple reasons. One is we do not want to be caught up in the clutter of fourth quarter holiday marketing. This message is too important to get lost in all of the other advertising. So we're going to launch at the beginning of the year, bright new future, and here it is, ready to go. But the other reason, maybe a little bit more important reason, is that all of us need the opportunity to be ready. From an agency perspective, from the Ubiquiti crew, and then also for you. Because the hope is that you're going to have to go back to your markets and think about this for a while and take a look at your own advertising and marketing plans and think, where can this fit in? Hopefully this will become your local marketing plans, customized for you. You might have to consider building a new tower, or maybe even expanding training for your staff, because what Nathan experienced is going to be on steroids once we launch with a campaign like the one that you just saw here. So this is all available to you. I would consider it Ubiquiti's investment in your future, and I have to tell you, I know that I look very young to many of you, but I've been in this business almost 40 years, and I can tell you, honestly, I have never seen a company invest millions of dollars of their own money to build somebody else's business. It's unheard of, but that's exactly what Ubiquiti is prepared to do. It makes me so excited to see this moment happen, and all they're asking is for you to join the revolution. They're going to be doing the spending. They simply want to make these materials available for you. So why would you want to do this? Well, strength in numbers. Together, we can fight the battle with the phone and the cable companies, and we can beat them at their own marketing game. Together, we can grow business. We can secure our futures, and we can change the future. But we're asking you to join us tonight, because quite honestly, the future just can't wait. Thank you.